Allora, ringraziamo Anthony che ha toccato il tasto anche dell'immigrazione, come avete visto, no, da un altro punto di vista. Adesso c'è lo spazio per domande o brevi interventi, quindi chi vuole parlare, chi vuole fare domande, alzi la mano. Allora, Gernot, scusa, devi venire qui per il solito problema delle telecamere.
I would just have a short question on this young people that entered Labour Party.
Louder.
Poi traduco all'italiano. Because you said this is a very, let's say, new sector of people that enter politics, which support due to this Coburn support. What I want to understand is this let's say, young middle class that has cultural prejudice against the poor people, is this problem there, or is this problem overcome? Because in a lot of situations we face this problem. Young people go to politics, but they come to politics with this, let's say, prejudice of the left culture, which does not allow them to get in contact with normal people. And this I would like to understand, if this huge sector that goes in the Labour Party in favor of Coburn still has this left prejudice, or are they able to interact with the population?
Ok, io raccolgo almeno 4 o 5 domande o brevi interventi, quindi
Ho già fatto.
puoi tradurre poi agli italiani.
No, ha tradotto...
Alex.
Is the microphone?
Sì, ma devi salire per favore. No, non metterlo a sedere.
I should like to know which are the most important forces who support in both parts of Ireland, which is not unified in the Northern Republic and in Ireland, the anti-EU movement, especially which are the most important forces among the trade unions and other organizations, social organizations, who support an anti-EU movement, both on the left and the right, or the conservative forces.
Pedro Montes. La derecha.
Lui non ce va.
Una vez a la derecha.
Mai.
Questa dai, bravo.
Ah, sì. Sí, castellano.
Buenas noches, ya mañana va a haber una mesa redonda sobre una crisis financiera. Yo he estudiado este tema y
Microfono. No.
Parla vicino alla bocca.
Cercano al microfono.
Que digo, mañana va a haber una mesa redonda sobre una próxima crisis financiera. Yo he estudiado este tema y tengo, mi pretensión es asegurarle a todos los participantes del foro que vamos a sufrir, no sé cuándo, pero bastante rápidamente, una crisis mucho más pavorosa desde el punto de vista financiero que la que ocurrió en el año 2008 con el hundimiento de Lehman Brothers. Aprovechando que está aquí Costa Lavavisa, ¿no? Y que sé que es un buen especialista, me gustaría che dice su opinione, si estoy in condizione di assicurare esto.
Sì, allora Pedro Montes domani è uno dei relatori insieme ad altri sulla tavola rotonda, che il titolo è Sulla prossima tempesta finanziaria globale. Pedro Montes, che è un economista, è assolutamente convinto che siamo alle porte di una nuova bufera o tempesta. Ah no, in inglese. Sorry. Sì, in castigliano hanno capito, anche se parla andaluso più che altro. Allora, no, Pedro Montes tomorrow will be one of the speakers on the round table on the next financial storm. Pedro Montes absolutely believes that we are at the gate of new financial storm, much more devastating than the old one of Lehman Brothers. So Pedro has asked to Lapavitsas, which is the opinion about the situation in the financial system, global financial system, and about the idea of a new imminent financial storm. Altri? Guardate che se non ci sono altri vi mando tutti a dormire, perché lo so che volete questo. Allora, io darei la parola prima ad Anthony, perché questo è un
Well, you asked who are for and against Euro integration in the Republic of Ireland. The Irish establishment is very Europhile, and there is no significant major force in the Republic that wants to leave the euro at the present time. Public opinion is unorganized. Public opinion is quite critical, as you know. In 2001, at the time of the Treaty of Nice, and 2008, at the time of the Treaty of Lisbon, the voters voted against those treaties, but they were made to vote again on the same treaties. So public opinion is quite strongly critical, and growing so. But the political establishment is extremely Europhile. The main force that was Eurocritical up to now was the Sinn Féin party, which was the descendant of the IRA and the extreme nationalists who were involved in the North of Ireland problem. But to the surprise of an awful lot of people, the Sinn Féin party decided to oppose Brexit in the United Kingdom referendum. They decided to back the Remain side. At least the leadership did. There was no debate in their ranks. There was no debate with the members. I believe the leadership thought that the Remain side were going to win, and they wanted to be on the winning side. And there was a large element of opportunism. And now they're in a very curious position. But if the British leave the EU, and I believe they will leave it, there will be big battles, but I believe they will take back control of all their lawmaking. This will inevitably put huge pressures on the Republic of Ireland to do the same. Partly because we do so much of our trade with the United Kingdom and with America. We do only 1/3. If Britain and the United Kingdom leaves the EU, the Republic of Ireland will do only 1/3 of its trade, roughly 1/3 of its exports, and only 1/4 of its imports from the European Union. So that changes things. And the other thing that has changed in recent years is that in the last 2 years, the Republic of Ireland has become a net contributor to the EU budget. For 40 years, since we joined the EEC in 1973, we were major recipients of EU funds. More money came to the Ireland than we contributed. That has now changed. Just as in the United Kingdom, we are now net contributors. And I assure you that is going to have a very big effect on Irish public opinion as they gradually realise it. So I think it's quite possible that the Republic of Ireland will follow Britain out of the EU when and if the detailed arrangements that the United Kingdom will come to with Brussels become clear. Our leaders hope the whole thing will go away. They think that Mrs. May will be put under pressure to fudge it, to find a way around it, under American pressure, German pressure, whatever. They hope it will go away. But if it doesn't go away, and I think it will not go away, if Britain does leave the EU, I think there's quite a good possibility that we will do the same. But that's a few years down the road.
Chiudiamo le domande, non ci sono, poi ve lo impedirei a questo punto perché è tardi, e quindi diamo la parola a Costas che deve rispondere su 2 o 3 punti importanti.
Let me first of all say something about finance, because that's going to be important for Brexit, but also more generally. In 2007-2009, we had a gigantic crisis of finance, a crisis of financialized capitalism. What has happened since then, to understand where we are, you've got to appreciate that what has happened since then is that the state intervened. The state intervened in a variety of ways. The most important way in which the state intervened is through money. The modern state commands money. That is the characteristic of it. There is no neoliberalism when it comes to money. With money, there is absolute monopoly. The state controls the final means of payment. The state then has intervened and it has made abundant money available to finance. Huge amounts of money in the United States, in Britain, and in Europe. Less so in Europe, but also in Europe. This, you've got to appreciate, is a kind of public subsidy to finance and to the capitalist class. It's a kind of subsidy because this money is actually based on public credit, on the credit of the nation, on the credit of the people. It's not based on credit of capital, it's the credit of the people. And that is made available to big business and to finance at very low rates of interest, and that gives them profit. So financial profit has been supported the last 6 or so years by the state. This is what has allowed finance to come back. Is there a bubble? Is there another financial explosion? No. We don't have a financial explosion right now. What we've got is support for financial profit, a leveling of financial profit. Financial profit went down, it bounced back because of support, and it's now leveling off. This is what you would see in the United States and elsewhere. So, what we observe is not a financial bubble across developed countries, only localized bubbles, like the London housing market. There is a bubble there, right? Or other particular markets. But generally, financial assets are not rising like they did before. There are two risks right now in finance. The first is the way of supporting profit through money is actually coming to an end. Interest rates are becoming negative. This is ridiculous. This is like negating the logic of capitalism. Right? Interest rates are becoming negative, which means that actually bank profitability is being hurt. Okay? So there is a problem also with pensions, because if interest rates are becoming negative, if returns are low, then obviously if you invest your pension savings in financial assets, the financial assets are not rising, pensions are difficult to pay. So the problem is to do with bank profits and financial profits and pensions. That's one problem. The other problem is, of course, developing countries. Very easy money in developed countries, very low interest rates in developed countries, easy money available to banks, money goes abroad. And so it goes to developing countries yet again. Again, it has started now, the last year, year and a half. These are the two main dangers for finance at the moment. But that doesn't really make a bubble like we had in the previous decade, in my judgment. So the finance is very precarious. It might break at any moment, but we're not in the 2000s at the moment. It's not a similar situation. And let me now come to the last question, which is the one about momentum. Very, very important here to appreciate the point made about division, which I didn't discuss. It's a limit to what you can discuss. Lenin said that the revolutionary side can make progress and can succeed when the ruling side is split. If the ruling side is split, then we've got opportunities, we've got possibilities. If the ruling side is uniform, it's very, very difficult. And that has been the reality in Greece and in much of Europe. The side of the rulers has been one, it's like a wall. It's been impossible for the radical left to break into that. In Britain, we have a situation, the only really big situation in Europe, where the ruling bloc is split. And it has been split for years. Big division, expressed in the Tory party. This is behind the opportunities we've got for Brexit. That's another way of looking at the opportunity that Brexit gives us. Because of the division in the ruling bloc, which has not been overcome, now they've come together again. The division has begun to be overcome in the Tory party, but it's not over yet. Because of that, we've got opportunities. And how do you see the opportunities? The young. One way of seeing it, the young have become politicized again. The young in Britain have become politicized in a big way the last year, in an unexpected way. I never thought I would see it. This is not middle class young people. These are people from across a wide layer, a wide spectrum of social classes, certainly not middle class people only. They are an expression among the youth of the anger and frustration I spoke about, the lack of good jobs, the lack of prospects, and so on. The remarkable thing about it, there are two remarkable things about it in my judgment. The first is this. I spent years in the British extra-parliamentary left. Years. We used to argue, the Labour Party is finished. Reformism is finished. The Labour Party is finished. The future belongs to the extra-parliamentary left. It doesn't. Unfortunately, we discovered that it doesn't. Because when the young people became repoliticized in Britain, they went to the Labour Party. This is basically what happened. Not completely to the Labour Party, but to momentum. Momentum being a big thing, associated with Labour, which has revitalized left-wing debate and left-wing activism. It has all sorts of problems. Please don't misunderstand. It has many, many problems. But there is no question that it is real. Unlike the small groups on the British left, which have spent the last 30 years arguing with each other and achieving nothing, this is actually real. And it reflects the change and the opportunities in British society. Which way will it go? It is very difficult to tell. Corbyn will win. Corbyn will win the vote. Momentum support is very important for it. That gives opportunities to the left in the coming period. It depends on what the left tells these young people. Whether they will move to socialism in a coherent way and radicalism and revolutionism and so on, it depends on what's on the table. The last thing I want to tell you about that is this. The youth of Britain, particularly the youth in large cities, and exceptionally so in London, which is a very peculiar city in Britain, wants a story and a narrative about European solidarity. It urgently needs that. An argument that says we will go for national sovereignty and for our own group sovereignty doesn't cut it with the young people today as much as doesn't persuade young people today as much as perhaps he had done in the past. There must be an argument. The left must quickly find arguments and narrative about a new Europe, a Europe from below, a Europe in which young people can believe. They don't want to feel isolated in a national border, with the national border. They don't want that. And it is very, very clear in London. Very clear in London, which is unusual. Less so elsewhere, in other cities, of course. But in London it's very clear. And that is something that the left must take into account. So momentum, very hopeful, but with pluses, minus, complexities, as is always the case. That's what great historical opportunities are about.
Kostas, one question, just to close. So, you believe that Labour Party is immortal?
I don't believe that the Labour Party is immortal. I spent a long time in the past arguing the Labour Party is finished, they're reformists, they're sold out, and they've done all that. And in the past they used to have a left that was anti-European Union, on a radical Marxist line, or on a radical Marxist position, which then went because of Tony Blair and so on, and Neil Kinnock before him. Now it doesn't exist, certainly in the way in which it used to. And so the Labour Party has got all the sins under the sun. Yes. So what happened? When the British people became radicalized again, the first place where they turned was the Labour Party. That's very, very important. We've got to take that into account.
One moment. Do you think that the mobilization of young people, often you have said, is the same of young people supporters for Sanders in USA, are similar?
Now we're getting into this. Britain is not the United States. Britain is not the United States. The traditions of the British people are very different politically and otherwise. There are similarities. There is similar anger against the establishment and a desire to find something new, and that again is very hopeful. In Britain, from what I understand, as far as I understand it, compared to Sanders, the United States, there is greater political awareness and a greater political depth among the youth. So it's not completely analogous, and I believe that the paths will probably be different because the historical trajectories of these parties are very different. But there is a similarity in the anger and the frustration against the established systems.
Ok, ringraziamo Costa, ringraziamo anche Giorgio Bonacci. Thanks to everybody. I want to remember to you that's some technical important details. Tomorrow, you know, we have 3 round tables on France, on Eastern Europe and Germany expansion, and on Italy. And the title on Italy is who will guide the leave, I mean the exit from Europe. On Italy is on this room, room 2, the Europe, Eastern Europe, and on France, the hall number 3. Because many people will come tomorrow, we will try really to start at 9:30. We will try to start 9:30. It's a warning for Italians. Because we believe that many people will be at the Italian round table, okay, it's important to start in time, 9:30, okay, because many discussion, many questions and so on. And another important thing, came with badge. Don't lose your badge, because if you lose, you pay twice. Okay? Sì, questo, portatevelo dietro domani, non è che, perché vale... Ok, ringraziamo tutti, ringrazio tutti voi per l'attenzione, siamo tutti stanchi, buonanotte.